The first car in the Great British Car Share series this time is the Ford Capri, or as it was known at the time, the Ford Cortina in drag.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to dress up for this one, Paul.
You didn't give me enough notice about the 1970s slogan. But the Ford Capri is one of the most, it's obvious why this is one of the most searched for classic cars. Because when you talk about classic cars, and in particular classic Fords, which have got such a mighty following, the Capri is never far from the conversation. Even people who are not into cars love Capris because either they know someone who drove one. I mean, my wife's dad had a Capri.
Yeah.
And I think everyone has a story about them, or they watched the TV shows, didn't they?
Of course, yeah. They were iconic in the TV shows. Everybody wanted to be like the heroes.
They did. It was kind of a bit of Americana came to the UK because everybody loved the Coke bottle style muscle cars. And then all of a sudden, the Americans had the Mustang, but we had the Capri. And it just looks so cool. It doesn't matter what Capri it is. Even the really basic L models with the steel wheels look cool.
Of course they do.
So we've got a Laser, which has got a 2-litre Pinto, I believe. I don't think it's the 1.6 Laser. I think it's the 2-litre, is it not?
This is the 1.6.
This is the 1.6 Laser with the crossflow.
The reason I'm thinking that is because it says 1.6 on the rear.
Does it?
Yeah.
This is the 1.6 Capri. We'll edit that out.
Which is still a Pinto.
Are you sure it's not a crossflow?
I think it's a Pinto.
Yeah. It's a 1.6 Pinto Capri. And we're going to drive it now.
That's what she said.
Yes, you're always right. Welcome to the Ford Capri Pinto. I'm pleased we got that out of the way. This is genuinely one of my favourite classic cars. It just has a little bit of everything about it because it was marketed as a family car, but you know, a bit more sporty than your Ford Cortina. And
it's a lot more sporty. You get into the cockpit, it feels like, you know, you feel like you're in a sporty car.
And you say cockpit because it is a cockpit. It's not a dashboard, is it, in here? You feel like you're going to be doing something pretty special.
Yeah, definitely.
It's fair to say this was marketed as a man's car, wasn't it?
I would have said so, yes.
Hairy chest, medallion.
Yeah.
I should be wearing a shirt that should be unbuttoned down to here while I'm driving.
Massive collar. Jason King.
Yes, yeah. Bodie and Doyle. Was it Bodie or Doyle?
Well, whichever one we say it is, people will say it's the other.
Oh, I tell you what, there's real jeopardy here. I did a Mark II RS 2000 video on YouTube and I got it the wrong way around. I'm pretty sure they probably car shared every now and again.
I reckon they did.
Bodie, you can borrow my Capri.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, Doyle. Actually, it's my Capri.
There you are. I bet they were fighting over that Capri every day of the week.
Should have done some more research.
So I do love the Capri. A lot of my friends back in the day had Capris when I had a Mini, and I did kind of look at them and think they are much cooler than me, much cooler than me. And they were, obviously, back in the day. To have one of these back in the 80s was something special.
And the Laser was cool. It was no Brooklands, but you got your snazzy interior.
Yes. Yeah.
And you got the nice badges, and you got your RS 4-spokes. You need RS 4-spokes on a Capri.
I do honestly feel like there's something missing there, Paul.
V6.
It's not that. I just feel like there's something missing. Let's go.
What kind of a person would have opted for a Capri then over a Cortina, do you think?
A person that looks like this.
You reckon?
Definitely. I don't know, they definitely had a completely different vibe to them, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, they were successful racing cars as well, actually. You know, Roger Clark rallied it was a Mark 1, but he rallied a Capri quite successfully as well. So they were big on competition. It wasn't just the saloon cars.
And the Mark 1, I mean, what a car. What a good looking car.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think that they got the Capri quite right with the Mark 1. Lovely car, but the Mark 3 was peak Capri because it had a little bit of 70s thrown there as well.
Yeah, they'd learned, but the Capri Mark 1 styling for me,
Yeah, it's a beautiful car.
It's
With the wishbone grille like the Escort.
just the best looking car.
And we're driving a 1.6 Capri here, which isn't really a performance car. Or isn't a performance car at all, but
it gives you that
Yes.
feel. You're sitting here thinking, this is it.
yes. Yeah. And it's the
I've
only
made
car. Yeah, you have made it. If you were driving a Capri back in the day, you had made it. It's the only car in the world that you can forgive for having a wappy gear change. Because no Capri I've ever driven has had a really nice gear change. They've always been wappy, but
Well, I'm
doesn't
looking
matter.
forward to getting behind the wheel. I've never driven a Capri.
you are joking.
I've never driven a Capri, so I'm very excited because in my head, it's probably going to drive a lot better than in reality. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing how that feels.
Imagine going to school. I mean, my wife's dad had a Capri, and she talks about that very fondly. I can't imagine any kid being dropped off at school in Mum or Dad's Capri, and thank you, and not thinking they were cool. No kid ever
Oh,
got dropped
yeah.
off at school in a Capri and was disappointed.
No, of course they were.
And that's a successful car, isn't it?
Fortunately, I lived only 3 doors away from my school, so I never had to be dropped off at school in one of my dad's crappy cars.
My moustache is falling off.
It still looks good though, Paul.
Thanks for saying that.
Everyone did want a Capri, particularly Ford of Europe, who looked on enviously as the Mustang transformed Ford's image and fortunes over the pond. Europe needed its Mustang, and the Capri was it. Our very own muscle car certainly helped Ford stretch its muscles. Bodie, Doyle, Jimmy Nail, and even Noel Edmonds had famous flings with Ford's pretty new fastback.
You had me at Jimmy Nail, but Noel Edmonds? Really? The motoring press poked fun at the Capri at the time, saying it was a Cortina in drag. And the first Capris did use Mark II running gear, but Ford made sure that its new baby was well enough endowed to shrug off the doubters. A V6 engine tends to do that. Anyway, it must have been good. Europe's Mustang ended up being shipped out to America to take on its bigger cousin. Rumour has it you could fit 13 Ford Capris in the average American parking space.
So we've driven our mums and dad's cars. My mum or dad never had a Capri. Yours didn't.
No, definitely not.
But it's a car that you somehow feel connected to, don't you?
Yeah, as I say, friends growing up, they had Capris, and yeah, it was always like, I loved my little Mini, but there was always a little bit of jealousy there, thinking, wow, that is a car. How have they afforded that car? It seemed really out of reach. It probably wasn't, but it kind of emanated that out of reach. Oh, you know, he must have a really good job. He's got a Capri.
Yeah, although I do think that with the later Mark III Capris like this one, I think anybody who bought a Capri with any kind of illusion of grandeur or wanting to drive a sports car was probably very disappointed that actually their next door neighbour had a 1.3L on the drive with steel wheels and it had
Yeah.
the same shape as their car. Kind of devalued it a little bit. It's like marketing had kind of ruined the concept a little bit. Thank you. A problem that I'd never anticipated with driving a Capri, having to keep your moustache in check.
Having to stick your moustache.
How about you?
back
Ever
on.
something you thought
Do
about?
you know what? I've even forgotten I've got mine on.
Have you
It
really?
feels that natural.
I wish mine felt that good. Mine keeps falling off. Sarah, do you want to drive the Capri? Because there's something about the wappy gear change I want you to appreciate.
I need to feel. Woo!
Now my moustache is really coming off.
It is. That G-force just had that effect.
Yeah, right. Your turn in the Capri, Crabbers.
I'm looking forward to this.
When you stop a Capri, you have to rev it before you turn it off. It's what they do in the films.
Of course. Okay.
Oops. Right. Before we go, I'm reliably informed that Richard from the Great British Car Journey. Have I lost one of my moustaches? I have.
Oh, actually, it looks really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's fine, Paul.
Are you
I
just
think-
saying that?
No, I think, no, that looks fine, honestly. I don't know where it is, but you still look really cool, Paul.
Would you have gone out to dinner with a man in the 80s looking like this?
Yeah. I probably did.
Right.
Several times.
Here we go. Let's not carry that one on.
So
Richard-
we've got some facts from Richard here.
Richard's given us his favourite feature of every car that we're driving on the Great British Car
brilliant.
Share this time.
That's interesting.
So in the Capri, the clock is unique. I rather like it.
Okay.
My mum's was exactly the same. Now I'm presuming that his mum never had a clock like that in the kitchen, so I reckon his mum probably had a
Although it
1.6 Capri laser.
does actually remind me a little bit of the travel clocks of that era. You know, the little travel clock in a cage. Do you remember?
Yeah, they
It
missed a
does.
marketing trick there. They could have had take your clock with you when you leave your
Yeah,
Capri.
like a removable overnight travel
How
clock.
cool would you have looked walking through the
Oh,
airport with your Capri
yeah.
clock?
Yeah.
I'd drive a Capri.
You'd have had it just like sticking out your top pocket of your shirt, wouldn't you? Just so that people knew, oh my gosh, he's got a Capri.
Yes.
He's got the clock in his pocket. He's got a Capri. I
Yes.
said clock in his
I
pocket.
know that. I know that. Oh my god. Oh god, it's like the Austin
Woo!
Sport 65 all over again. Oh, grabbers. Has a 1.6 Pinto got enough power to go sideways without the limited slip differential? We're about to find out.
No, if it has.
Are you going the right way? Oh god.
I love it.
Oh, it's the Austin all over again.
See what you mean about the gearbox?
Yeah, wappy, yeah? Brakes are wappy too.
But it still got that power, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah, it has. Yeah.
You look a little bit scared, Paul. You all right?
I'm okay now. We've slowed down. We have to talk about the steering wheel
Yeah.
because in the Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts and the RS models, you got a steering wheel just like that. It's like a modern version of the RS steering wheels in the early Escorts, which I really love.
Yeah.
And yet this is it's not a base model, but it's a non-sporty model in the Capri range. And yet they went to little
Leather bound.
touches like that.
Leather bound steering wheel.
Just like the old RS
Yeah.
ones. Anyone who's driven an early Mark 1 or Mark 2 Escort or an RS 2000 Mark 2 or something will know what I mean. So let's talk about why this is one of the most popular and the most searched for classic cars in the UK. Values went up massively a few years ago, and then there was that Capri Brooklands that went for, did it go for 100 grand or something like that? I can't remember now. 80,
Crazy
100 grand.
money.
It's just silly
Crazy
money, but it's the
money.
first of the non-obvious classic Fords. The Mexicos had done their thing.
Yes.
The RS 1600s were long gone. The Lotus Cortinas were fast catching up. And then all of a sudden this Capri Brooklands, this Mark III Capri, went for ridiculous money, and then that was it. Everybody wanted Capris.
If you own a Capri, or you're thinking of owning a Capri, and you're thinking of maybe buying a Capri for the first time, you've never driven one, you didn't have one back in the day, come here and have a go. This is the first time I've ever driven a Capri, and I am impressed. I've always wanted one, now I want one even more. I can't take you seriously, now you've got that on.
Well, you look like Hulk Hogan.
Well, actually, I feel like Hulk Hogan. Watch it or I'll smack down. No, but seriously, if this is a car that you've always hankered over, if you're, my kind of age, you wanted one when you were 18, 19, 20, you didn't have one, your mates had one, you're thinking of buying one, you're not sure, is it going to fulfill that dream? Come here. Come and drive one like I am today.
This is
and
actually the
test
one
it
you can
out.
drive with Drive Dad's car, this very car.
Exactly. Come
We'll
and
even
test
leave
it out.
Sarah's moustache in the glove box for you if you want to try that out as well, to see if the dream really
I'm not leaving
works.
it. Mate, this is going to be my weekend wear from now on. Okay, I'm loving it. But come and try it out. Come and have a go. See if it fits you for size. This is the other thing. I speak to people on a daily basis who have bought cars. They go to pick them up and they go, can't get in it. 6'4", and I couldn't get in it. I'm having to sell it. Why didn't you try before you buy?
I will give you a visual representation of what happened when I went to buy my Clan Crusader. I'm taking it. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and this is how I drive everywhere. Like this, basically. Although I don't have a moustache on usually.
So there you are, peeps.
Back in the Capri.
Don't make
in the
the silly
Capri.
mistake.
So you're in the business of selling classic cars and you know how that works. Have we got to the point where cars are only popular when they're worth a lot of money? Or are we still at the point where people will buy a car because it's desirable and they want to live that car and enjoy
It's
that
still
car?
nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's still nostalgia.
More than value? Or is that a really tricky, is that an unfair question?
I think that is an unfair question. I think there'll always be a little bit of a crossover. People will always want to invest in classics because it's a good way of investing your money. It's a sure way of investing your money, generally.
Yeah.
But nostalgia, I think, will always prevail.
Do you know what this is? This is a Grand Tourer.
It is, but can I just ask you?
I wanted a bit more than that.
Where's your tash?
Well, it's in my hand. It didn't fit.
You just want me to look stupid, don't you?
I don't think you look stupid. I think you look lovely.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Paul.
Right.
You flirting with me and my moustache?
Is that how it felt to you?
Yeah. Because soon, very soon, I will be able to grow my own moustache.
This one here, Nick can have. Oh, look at that. That's good.
You see?
Do you know what it's like? It's
No, I just feel like you're ridiculing me.
No, I'm not. It's like Mrs. Potato Head in a Capri. Like, I've got some more I can stick on. I could put one on your ear.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
It's okay. I've got some fake sideburns as well.
Are they the ones that you've got on?
I'll have it back. Thanks.
You're welcome. Do you really think it suits me?
Yes. What do you think? Impressions on the Ford Capri.
Well,
Is it a Cortina in drag?
I don't think it is. I think Ford marketed it very well when they said the Capri is the car that you always promised yourself.
Yeah. The car that everybody wished they got dropped off at school in.
Definitely.
For me, the Capri is the ultimate British Grand Tourer because GT cars were the sort of cars that everybody should have got a chance to drive and experience on the open road. And this was designed to be sporty, but practical, and most importantly for Ford, especially in the era that the Capri was made, and the Mark III particularly, affordable.
Yeah.
But the thing
And they still are now.
Yeah.
Okay, there's certain models of Capri that are a little bit out of reach, but there's some out there that are everyman money.
So in terms of the original brief, the most searched for classic cars in the UK, we agree on this isn't a surprise. There's a reason why the Capri is a very searched for classic car. And we wholeheartedly agree with you if you are searching for a Ford Capri. The thing that I've learned that I didn't expect to be saying today though, more than anything else driving this Ford Capri, is that I prefer Sarah Crabtree's moustache to mine.
The thing is, Paul, yours keeps falling off. You'll be fine when you hit puberty.